guys make a living impersonating Abraham Lincoln. They hate the word impersonator, by the way. They prefer to call themselves presenters. We should talk about impersonators conjures up ideas of like some guy in feather boas, trying to look like Carol Channing or something. These guys are much more serious.
Lincoln has become such a part of me that, I can become Lincoln in a moment. I like to think that I'm a much better man than I was before Lincoln came into my life.
A very large number of them bear absolutely no resemblance to Abraham Lincoln whatsoever. I would try and say, Lincoln generally was kind of really tall and really skinny, and you're like really short and not so skinny at all. But again, the Lincoln thing was a spiritual designation almost. What they were trying to conjure up was a spirit of Lincoln. You put your beard on for that? Or?
Well, yeah, in February I grow a real one.
Oh.
That's what I look like with my real one.
Oh, okay. When they fall for history, they fall all the way. And to the point where they end up growing a beard and buying a weird hat and getting square-toed boots and trying to live it and become it. So do you color it or does it come in black?
That's the color. Everybody here colors it.
Notice before your mole is gone.
I've rubbed it off while I'm going to put it in my pocket.
Oh, do you keep it
It's
in
the
your
tip
pocket?
of a pencil eraser stuck on with spirit gum.
How tall are you?
6'3".
Oh, so you're just right about there.
Yeah, he was 6'4", so
Yeah.
when I had my back surgery, I said, "Can you put a spacer in, bump me up a little?" And he's like, "No, we can't do that."
And when I have a beard or when I do this, a lot of times I'll have the presentation going on and I'll say to them, and now we've met Mr. Lincoln, and I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine who's been studying me for about 40 years. I never knew him during my lifetime, but he seems to know quite a bit about me. And at that time, I'll take off my hat, take off the beard, and people go, "Oh my God," because they're completely shocked.
Being an Abe is not a real lucrative job. Most of them say they like to get $200, $250 in appearance. But quite often, if you're just doing a ribbon cutting or you're just showing up at a parade, you can't get $50. So they end up living in their cars, they drive around, park in the parking lots of hotels, do sponge baths in the morning to get going. And again, it's part of the devotion that they have for him. Something about Lincoln has spoken to some part inside him that's very, very deep. And it's also tied in with their own feelings about the country. And loving Lincoln for them is a way of loving America. We spent part of the morning at the College Avenue Presbyterian Church here in Alton.
Much younger man than the one in his 70s. Wonderful words.
And I was really struck by the program cover here because it's got three people on it. It's got Elijah Lovejoy, who was the first pastor of the church, and he's sort of a favorite son of the locals here. And so you think about it. And then right up here at the top is Jesus. And then right below him is Abraham Lincoln. Now that really tells you something about the esteem with which our friends in the ALP hold Abraham Lincoln. It is kind of creepy sometimes, I suppose, but it's also, as I say, very touching and poignant. And I can see why these guys do a lot of good. For them, Lincoln is sort of a transformative figure. Not just on the outside, he didn't just change the country, he's changed these guys too, from the inside. And it's a very intense experience of history. For these guys, history isn't something long ago or something you read about in a book. They live it every day.
I just want to portray his values most of all. That's most important to me. What he stood for.
So it's almost a spiritual or even mystical kind of connection.
Yeah. We only needed one Lincoln. I'm not Abe, but if I can help portray to the people that I touch some of the values that he had, what he stood for, I will have done my duty, as I see it.
I don't care how long I live. I will never get used to walking into a room with 50 guys staring at me who look exactly like Abraham Lincoln. But you know, I find the more time I spend with them, the strangeness and the weirdness of the whole thing kind of falls away, and what you're left with is something really much more poignant and touching, which is their passion and their patriotism and almost their missionary zeal to try and wake everybody up to the glories of Abraham Lincoln.